driving the golf cart one day and driving through the complex. It was a huge complex. They had their own bank, their own nursing homes, and you can live in a condo, efficiency, or your own home on this property. It's very large. So one day I was driving the golf cart, and sometimes we drove the long carts. We had to pick up the residents for their lunch and dinner. But I was driving, and I seen this tall gentleman walking, and I pulled over. He was dressed very nicely in a white shirt and a tie. And I pulled over and asked him, did he need a ride? And he said, sure. He said today was his birthday, and I asked him how old was he. He said 100 years old. I mean, he was walking with stride, and I was amazed at this man kept himself in very good shape. And it's amazing to stop and talk to some of them. They have so much experience to share with you, and I've learned so much from just stopping and sitting with them and talking. Diversity too. They had so much to say and to share. I met a retired general, a commanding general. I met a deep sea diver. This lady and her husband would put on those big iron helmets with the pressurized suits and go deep sea diving. And there were so many that if you would take the time, they would share their life stories with you. And I would, if I was out driving around, I would just stop and say, how you doing? And just chat with them. They had so much to share. But this gentleman that was 100 years old, that was walking with a stride and a smile on his face, was one of the things that stood out to me. One day, one of the peacocks had flew up on the power lines, and it knocked the power out. It got fried. So we called the manager, and his response was, save me a piece. And we thought that the residents were going to be terrified because it was getting dark and their power was out. Only phone calls we got from the residents was that when is the power coming back on, because I need to watch my program. My show is coming on, or my movie. And we just started laughing because this was all they were worried about, was watching their program. The place was so huge. And one of the outstanding things that they did have was that each unit had an alarm system that would go off in the hospital at the nurses station. If a resident was not moving around during a 24-hour period, the alarm would go off, and we had to go to that address to check on them. One incident happened one night, and at nighttime it was hard to find, those addresses. So you had to go out on your own at some point and learn your way around it and keep a map on you, because sometimes the fire department might come, police might come, and they don't know where to go. So they depended on you to escort them. And that's something we had to learn. But at night, it made it harder because the nurses didn't know where to go. When they got an emergency call, they depended on us to take them there. So one night, the alarm went off, and I was by myself. We had keys to all the units. I was told to go and check on this resident because there was no movement, the alarm went off. So I knocked, put the key in the door, and announced myself. I got inside, it was dark. I was calling them by their name. And at the same time, I'm on the radio talking to the hospital nurses station, letting them know where I'm at and what's going on. So I get inside and tell them I don't see anyone. They tell me to keep going back and go to the bedroom, which I did. And I seen the person laying there in the bed. And they're asking me, well, what's going on? Well, I don't know. So they told me to get closer. I'm telling them, well, she's in bed. Well, we want to know more than that. Is she breathing? So I'm going, oh my goodness. And I'm getting close to her, and I chest rising, and I can hear her breathing. So I tell them she's breathing, she's fine, and I go lock up, get the lights back out, and leave. Welcome to Eastridge. Diversity too. This really happened. That place was so big. They had their own bank, their own hospital, and you can live in your own home, condominium, efficiency. They had everything there. There was a gentleman there. I don't think he was older than I was. And I was wondering, why was he living in this retirement village? He was really smart. He saved his money, and he was setting himself up. And I thought that was amazing. He would drive his car in and out, but he knew that at some point he was going to have to give all that up. A lot of them, they have to give up their vehicles, and they had a lot of golf carts that they would drive around, but at some point they can't do that. But this gentleman had a plan. Diversity too. This really happened.